Hi, this is Dimitri Bilgier, and in my last video we talked about how some people seem to be able to write down their vision, write down their goals, throw them in a drawer, and hold a sense of vision that allows them to be patient and persistent until it comes true. And for those people, they'll often say, yeah, boy, I pulled that paper out of the drawer 20 years later, and what do you know? Everything on it had come true. Now, you and I may not be like that, so we're trying to talk about what makes them different. What makes them different is they don't give up on their vision. Now, I want to talk some about how do you not give up on your vision. There are a lot of parts to this, but this is the piece I've been noticing lately. For most of us, I think really I can say for all of us, there are things we quote unquote know about the world. We know these things to be true about the world. It's like the firmament of our existence. We don't really even question them. We know them to be true. And generally speaking, we don't even think about them. So when I say, what do you know to be true about the world? You may have to do some exploring to discover what that is. For people who are able to have a vision and hold on to it, right? What they know about the world is they know that they can do things. They know that they can make something unfold. I was talking to a friend of mine last night who recently decided to change careers. She wanted to start a business in a completely unrelated field. And so she came up with the idea, the vision. She sort of wrote down her goals, threw them in a drawer, and she's just been kind of doing stuff, and it's just unfolding really beautifully, and you can tell it's gonna work. So I asked her, so the world you believe in, do you believe in the world that you can do stuff and have it work? She looked at me like I was crazy. She said, well, definitely I believe I can do things and have it work. But for so many of us, if we get dirt honest about the world we believe in because of our past, because of our past experiences, because of the stuff we believed in the past that didn't work out and broke our hearts, and then we tried to believe and think big again, and it didn't work out and it broke our hearts, and we tried to have vision again and it didn't work out and it broke our hearts, what happens is we get to the point where what we know about the world is we know that no matter what we do, it's not going to work out for us. We start to believe that the universe is set up basically that there are winners and there are losers. If you've ever looked at someone and said, why are they successful? I'm smarter than them. I'm more skilled than them. I'm more intelligent than why? I'm more hardworking than them. Why are they succeeding and I'm not? Right? We start to come up with an answer, which is, well, some people are winners and some people are losers. This is how we know the world is, right? We know this. And for the people who are the winners, well, no matter what they do, they're going to win. No matter how shoddy, no matter how bad, whatever. It's just going to unfold for them. And for the losers, no matter how well we do, it won't matter. You can be the best in the world and it won't matter. We start to believe that that's the world, right? And the problem with a lot of sort of behavioral modification sort of stuff around, well, just think bigger. Right? Well, look at somewhere you've succeeded and just build on that. The problem with that is that we're building on that small success and trying to make it larger inside a world where we know the limitations are. Things might get a little better, but they're never really going to explode into awesomeness. Because that's the world that we know. Right? We can make it a little better, but it's always going to be inside the context of a world that has certain limitations around it. So we end up being people who don't think big because thinking big breaks our heart. We end up trying to make things a little bit better, lower the bar, maybe figure out a way to suffer through this, make the best of it, rather than really going for what our hearts really long for. Now, I'm considering putting together a program to help people with this very problem. And it would be a long term, it would be a multi-week, 9 months or a year, it would be like 3 or 4 weekends. A lot of coaching in between, because world changing, when you need the world to be fundamentally different, when you need to know the world is different, that's not an issue that you're just holding in place with like, oh, the thing happened once, I did something and failed once, I need to do a piece of work. That's usually something where we know the way the world is the way it is because of lots of things that have gone wrong. Lots of ways things haven't worked out. There's a lot to work on. And I've looked around and seen there isn't a place in the world where we can work on that together. Say, this thing's been bugging me my whole life. It's been bugging me the last 30 years. I've worked on a lot and nothing's fixed it. I've gotten a little better in a sucky world, but I'm still living in a world that sucks. So what I want to do is help you like I've helped some of my clients, but help create a program where we really look at changing the world we live in. So we can become those people who can hold a vision, and of course we can hold a vision. Of course we can make a difference in the world. Of course the thing that's been bothering you for the last 30 years doesn't bother you anymore. Of course you set a goal for health or relationship or money, and it starts to unfold, and you start to see that happen. Now, if this is something that might interest you, pop me an email. Would you let me know? This is the kind of thing you might be interested in, because it'd be a big commitment. But at the end of that time, what we're really going for is living in a completely different world. So we're no longer pushing against these limitations of what we can be. So that we reach into our heart for the old and bring out the new. So so we can be surprised, delighted, wake up excited every day. This is what I'm talking about going for. So pop me an email if that sounds interesting, and I'll make sure that you're kept in the loop if I decide to go forward with this. But either way you go, you might want to look at what is it that you've given up on that you really care about. What have you bought the idea that the world is like? And how can you start to work on changing that through whatever support systems you have? So this is Dmitry Bilgir, signing off.